Hi all, today we'll be looking on hacking Windows 7 using Metasploit backdoor. Okay, first we'll see what backdoor is. Backdoor are malicious files that contain Trojan or other infectious applications. So backdoor is basically a malicious file that contains Trojan or other malicious applications. It can either halt the process of the machine, or it may give us partial remote access to the machine. It either stops the process of the machine, or it gives we are able to gain remote access to the machine. We will be getting the reverse TCP connection from the victim machine by using a small backdoor using Metasploit framework. So using the Metasploit framework, we'll have a backdoor, and using that backdoor we will be able to establish a reverse TCP connection from the victim machine. Okay, we can now look what MSF console is. It is a centralized console which gives you access with multiple attacking vectors, exploits and auxiliaries to exploit a machine in various ways. So here it provides us multiple attacking vectors, exploits, and it also explains how to exploit a machine in various ways. We can now look into what MSF Venom is. Basically, it's a tool used to create payload of backdoor. It is already a part of Metasploit framework. It's a command line instance of Metasploit. It is used to create and exploit tools in various ways and techniques. MSF Venom is a standalone payload generator for many platforms like Cisco, Android, OS X, BSD, Solaris, Firefox, Windows, Unix, Node.js and much more. It is a combination of MSF payload and MS fence code. It is fast and uses a single instance. Now some terminologies. LHost. LHost stands for listening host. It is the IP of the Kali machine, which is the attacker machine. Now L port is the listening port, that is the port number of Kali machine. Payload. What is payload? Payload is backdoor file which is going to be used for the OS like Windows, Linux, Mac and Android. That is a backdoor is created, and it will be sent to the Windows, which when executed will help us in establishing the access. Now we can look into the steps that is required to hack the Windows 7 from the Kali Linux. Okay, first we start up the Kali Linux and the Windows 7 as two virtual machines. Then we note down the IP machine IP of the Kali machine. Then we open the other terminal to create payload using MSF Venom. Now in the new MSF console tab, we need to use a specific exploit. Then we set the payload, that is reverse TCP, and we set the LHost and L port. Now post that we run the command run or exploit. Okay, so now we are listening for the connection of the port, that is reverse TCP handler has started. So now what we do is that now we'll go to send the payload. We are going to send the payload to the victim machine by using default Apache server in Kali Linux. So earlier we had created a file in the desktop. What we do is that we'll first copy that payload file into /var/www/html, and then we start the Apache service. Now what we do is that we go to the Windows 7 machine, and there in the browser we type the Kali IP, and from there we will be able to download the payload that we have created. Now we'll go back to Kali Linux to see whether before that we will be downloading the payload and we'll be executing it. So when we execute it, the Metapreter session is opened in the Kali machine. So that is the reverse connection from the victim machine is set. Now since we have got the reverse connection successful, what we do is that we use the Metapreter commands to get the information of Windows 7 machine. Okay, now we'll look into the demo. Okay, so first we'll start a terminal. Okay, then we will be creating payload. Okay, so we'll be using MSF Venom for the creation of the payload. Okay, while we'll be executing it, okay, while we will be executing, we can put the name as victim.exe. Okay, when we'll execute it in the desktop, the victim.exe file will be created. Yes, it is created here. Next, what we do is that we have to move it to the www html folder. Okay, for that we'll copy the same there. Okay, now you can see that the payload has been created and the final size is this much. Okay, now we are copying this from the desktop to this folder. Okay, so for that we'll be using this command, copy command. Okay, so when we have executed the copy command, and here we can see that victim exe has come up. Post that, what we do is that we'll start the Apache server, and for that we'll be executing this command. Okay, so we can check the status also. Okay, we can see that the Apache HTTP server has been started. Okay, so we'll go to new tab, and here we'll start the Metasploitable framework. You can see that Metasploit framework console is running. Yes. Okay, so now what we do is that we'll be using the exploit multi-handler. Okay, then we'll be setting up the payload, which is the reverse TCP payload for Windows. Then we will be setting up the L host and L port. Okay, so this IP is the IP of the Kali Linux machine. (4444) is the port. Then we'll be running it. We can see that reverse TCP handler has been started. Okay, now next what we have to do is that we would have to download this victim exe file that we have, payload that we have created in Windows machine. Okay, now for that what we do is that in the browser we'll be typing the IP of the Kali Linux, that is 192.168.1.7. Slash, let us see what's the file name. It is victim.exe. Fine, so we'll type victim.exe. okay, and okay, we can see the file has been downloaded. So here we'll be going, we'll keep this file. Okay, we'll open this, and let me just copy this to the desktop. Okay, we have copied it, and now what we do is that we will be executing it. When we will execute, here the session must begin. Okay, so let us try executing this. Okay, run. We have executed it, and we see that Metaparator session has been started in the started here. Okay, and then we'll type help, so it will provide us different commands through which we can get the information of Windows 7 machine that we are trying to take the remote session. Okay, there are many commands that you can see here. We can do some commands, we can execute some commands. Okay, we can try to get the user ID, UID. Okay, we are getting the UID. Then if we want to get the IP configuration of the Windows device, we can type ipconfig. So we see that 192.168.1.9 is the IP of the window machine. Then we can also capture the screenshot. Okay, we'll see what the Windows. Okay, this is the Windows 7 screen. So we are going to capture the screenshot, and for that the command is screenshot. Okay, we can see that the screenshot has been saved in this folder EGAJQ. Okay, the file name is EGAJQ. Okay, we can check that. Okay, EGA. This is that file. We can see that it has been captured, and the desktop is having our payload file. Okay, next what we can do is that here we can also capture the keystroke. We can log the keystrokes that the user is being using in the victim machines, like what he is typing and all can be captured. Okay, like for example, we have a command named keyscan start, which will start logging the keystrokes. Start. Okay, here the keystroke sniffer has been started. So now what we'll do is that we'll open a notepad here. Okay, I'm going to type something. Okay, so this I'm closing it. So I'm going back to this place, and now in order to see the keystrokes, we would have to type the command keyscan dump. Okay, when we execute this command, we'll see the keystrokes that has been logged. Okay, yes. So here we see that this is the confidential file. Thanks for keeping it safe. Okay, like this we can capture the keystroke, and post capturing we can execute the command stop, keyscan stop, which will stop the keystroke sniffer. Like this we can do many other commands to gain more information of the Windows 7. So this is the way like which we have been able to get the remote access of the Windows 7 machine. Okay, there are many other commands that can be tried. So that's it for today. Thank you.